All right, hey everyone. Oh, forgot the AirPods. That's not a good start. Let's get those plugged in, connected. There we go. Cool. I thought I turned off my notifications. Do not disturb. Okay, good. All right, anyway, let's get started for the third and final stream on these OG images, the OG image generator. So all I've really done since yesterday, I kind of started working on the layouts, but I reached out to Simon, the creator of this OG package, and he said he was going to work on that title and potentially fixing some of that box model stuff that I was running into, or maybe not fixing, but explaining it to me better. So because of those things that he was going to look at, I didn't want to go too deep into that layout. As we saw the other day, it's a little bit hairy. Again, you only have to set it up once, but it is something that can be a bit. It's a bit painful. There's a bit of friction there, right? There's a learning curve, as with anything. So we will skip that for now to the point we know that we're able to generate images once that layout's dialed in. This is all just going to work. So that bit of polish is really on me. I think completing the script is really where we're going to end up today. So let's do that. Hey Samuel, how's it going? All right, so here's where we left off basically. All I really did was add this comment here. So I'm really just adding a comment for this OG generator script. We saw that effectively if we do PHP OG generator and we map it to the blog.laravelshif.com_posts, I think. Yeah, posts. We map it to where the posts are and we run this. We're seeing that it's going to generate all the different images here. Now again, the layout, the generated image is not exactly what we want. Right now we're just putting it out to a build directory. I'm going to finalize this layout with Simon's help. So not going to worry about that anymore. Again, that's the custom piece anyone would do, and maybe if there's some default layouts or something, you know, if Simon does some more work, gets some more energy, does some more work on this package, you know, you might use one of the out-of-box layouts. So this layout's custom for me. It's not something we really need to worry about messing with. What we do need to do is kind of finish what we started yesterday. So right now we're generating image blog posts underneath the post directory. We did that part. We need to do this next part to really finalize this for your blog. You're going to want to save them to somewhere in your blog. This OG script could be anywhere, right? That's kind of irrelevant, this script. What matters is that you're reading content from a certain place and then you're saving it to a certain place, and potentially, in the case of my blog, updating the front matter to have that new file name and the path or whatever, wherever you might have created that OG image. So let's build those two pieces, because then this all works and the rest is just styling, right? The application is functional, it's just not pretty. So let's get to that, right? All right, let's clear this out. We need to pass this an additional argument. So again, we're going to pass it posts, we're going to pass it assets. So the next thing we want to pass is basically we're going to drop this build part off, and we want to instead use arg, and again, not necessarily pretty here, but we're going to use argv2, right? And what we could do is just something up here really quick. We could just say something like if arg c is not equal to 2, basically, not equal, equal to 2, usage OG image, blah, 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 blah. Okay, cool. So exit 1 with an error. So if we try to run this again now, we should get our little error. Nope, we did not. Okay. Oh, argc, right? That's what it is. If argc, oh, argc is 3, script name, right? There we go. Yeah, you always have the script. That's confusing, but you always have the script name. So the argument count is 3, even though we only passed it 2 args. Kind of gross, but whatever. That's why it didn't work the first time. Okay, so now we have argv2, the file name, and then PHP or PNG. So two things. One, we actually give it this OG extension here. I don't know if I want to do that or not. I'm just trying to think like SEO wise. I guess if you had an image on the page that like, you know, you wanted to save as that file name, we probably ought to avoid conflicting. So I think this OG extension probably makes sense. Let's change. We need the URL to stay like this, but now we would update the file name to be filename.equals OG, and then now we should be able to just say generating that. So let's try to run this again. Again, it's going to fail because we don't have the path. So what is the path? The path would be blog, Laravel shift. Is it just assets? No. What do I have this under? Pages, docs, apps, config. I'm using hide, PHP, by the way, on this. So I'm just trying to remember where. I think it's under resources. I think you just put it under resources like anything else. Is it under resources assets, or is it under just like a public? I think it's under resource assets. Nope, that's not it. Do I not have any images on this site? I forget where you're supposed to store your assets. I imagine you would just put it under assets. So let's just do that. So theoretically, we could run this, and if I went over to my Shift blog, I would see all of these images generated there. That's what we're going to try to do. So let's run it. Generating. We got the OG on the extension. All right, cool. So now if I ls that last directory, there they are. There's our OG images. Now I could make a subfolder here called OG or something. It doesn't matter. I could change that path later. Again, that's the polish. You may want to change that. The point is, it's simply the file name. So I don't think there's anything to really do here. The final piece to do would be, I'll calculate the read time, but the final piece for me would be to update the front matter. So let's just echo contents, and then let's exit in that first loop. So let's run this again. Okay, so what I would like to do is maybe before, what I would like to do is inject an OG image property to the front matter to say what that file name was. So OG image, .png, right? That's what I would want to do. And maybe we just go ahead and suffix with PNG. So I'm just trying to think. This is really just some string manipulation. I looked at the package from Spatie. It's a very simple, straightforward, as they call it, a no frills or whatever. So I'm trying to think. Do I try to parse the front matter myself, or do I try to find just like we know we're always going to have a category, right? So I could always like say, okay, category, inject this, a line below it or whatever. I could do, or just right above the date, right? I could do something like that. Yeah, let's do that. So let's build this in here. First of all, let's fix that OG image, and we'll make it .png, so it'll have the extension that allows us to just get rid of this, so it's a little cleaner. And then we've got this, that's fine. This will give us the file name that we want to then update the OG image front matter. So after we generate the image, let's update the front matter. So can you set this? Default. Oh, okay. Gives us the default. All right. So if it doesn't exist, that's a little confusing. I don't think we're gonna do that. I wonder if you can say has. Nope. So there's two paths actually. Let's say I'm generating OG images for something that already has an OG image. Well, if I'm regenerating it theoretically because I changed the template or the theme or whatever, then I would want to make sure to update what already existed. So there's two paths. So if it has front matter, then I effectively would do a contents and then like a preg replace basically. This guy, perfect. Okay, so I would preg replace anything basically anything that's, I'll just say anything that's not a space with OG image file name. Perfect. Okay, so if you already have front matter, then just take that OG image tag that we're already using, take whatever value is behind it. We know it's not going to contain any spaces because it's a file name path, a file name, and then replace it with the new one. Perfect. Okay. Otherwise, here's where we get a little tricky. We have to say, we can't just replace any dash dash dash. I could have dash 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 in my comments as an HR or something like, it's unlikely, or in my content, but it's unlikely, but you can't rely just on that. So I think if we know that there's not an OG image tag, we would simply string replace the date in front of it. I think that's the easiest thing to do. And what I mean by the date is this one, right? We know there's no OG image in our front matter. It's already been parsed. So we can say, okay, we know there's always going to be a published date. We can just take it and put it right above that. So this could just be a simple string replace. We could simply say contents equals str replace date colon space. Again, this is in our front matter. So it's pretty trustworthy. I guess you could do a limit on this, right? Does this take a limit? It takes a count? Oh, that's how many things it replaced. I think preg replace takes a limit. I mean, we could put in the value of it too, but I don't think that's necessary. But yeah, anyway, this is kind of what I'm going for. Man, GitHub Copilot's on it today. It's really good with string replacement type stuff, actually, I've found. API generation, like API call generation, or calling APIs and code to do so. Like if you're trying to call a GitHub API, or if you're trying to manipulate strings, if you've got enough code written here, it's pretty good. Anyway, str replace date with OG image. Again, I'd like to limit this to just one because, again, it's very possible you have date in there. I'm just deciding in my mind if I want to make this a preg replace. Does preg replace take limit? Yes, it does. We're gonna go preg replace just for the limiting. I could easily have date colon in a blog post, so I don't want to do that. So let's say date / it's a very simple regular expression. We'll just turn this into a caret. We'll do a multi-line search there, so caret matches the beginning of the first line, and then we would replace it with this, really no change, but we're going to throw in a 1 for the limit. So it'll make sure to only do that one time, and because it's in the front matter, we know that that's the very first date colon that would come across. So this should work. Let's find out. I'm going to open up my workspace, cd blog, Laravel shift. If we do a GST, here's all of our new assets. So let's just kind of nah those out. Who cares? Okay, so I'm bringing this other window up because when we run the script now, it should actually go in and update our front matter with the OG image name. Not only generating them, but updating the front matter. And then if I run it again, we'll tweak the file name. We'll see that it changes those as well. So that's the goal. If it does that, then we're done. So let's run this. Oh, I've got that exit in there still. Sorry, let's drop that out. Oh, we forgot something else. File, put contents, post contents. All right, let's get rid of our poor man's debugging here. Okay, we're gonna read the file contents. We're gonna parse out everything we need to parse to build our image. So long as this doesn't explode, then we're gonna update, or then we're gonna test to see how to update the contents of the front matter, and then finally put that back out into the markdown blog post. Theoretically, we're doing it live here. We're testing live. All right, we're gonna run this. Generating. La 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 la. Great. We go over here. We'll run git status. Okay, markdown files changed. Corresponding OG images exist under assets. Let's do a git diff. Okay, look at that. OG image composer error dependency should not contain uppercase characters. Okay, so long name. Again, I could tweak that if I want to. I don't really care. I don't mind the buzzwords in there from an SEO perspective. So that's totally cool with me. It's just a really long file name. But it put it in the perfect spot. It didn't go farther down. It only did it once. That looks good. So here's what we'll do next, because I can just now all this stuff. Let's go up and change the file name to like OG image 2, right? The point is, though, is that those blog posts now have an OG image tag, so this will test that other if block path. So let's just quit out of here. Again, I'm going to leave all this here. I'm not going to nat, and we'll run this again. So we got 2 being generated. Good. All done. We'll do a get status here. So we should see doubled up images. That's fine because they're created, but we didn't see anything else change here. So now if we run a get diff, hopefully we don't see doubled up OG image properties in the front matter. We see that it just got updated to 2. And it did. Perfect. Look at that. So there's our generator. There's our generator. It works. It reads a set of posts from a directory that you specify. So any blog post will work as long as it's marked down and using front matter. You can generate an OG image from it, and you can say where that OG image should be saved. And it'll even go so far as to update an OG image property in your front matter with the file name that it generated. So if you're generating, hashed file names or something, it'll pass through here. Now, of course, there's some opportunities to configure this and customize this. Your thing might not be called OG image name. But again, you're probably, if you're using this particular package, you're probably going to update this anyway, right? I mean, it's going to have your blog name and the extension you won and so forth like that. So you're going to be updating the theme or the layout regardless. So I will share this as a gist if this is helpful enough for anybody. Again, if you're using one of Simon's layouts for the package that already exists and you're able to style it with your own colors, this works. This can generate, blog posts for you. And I think you could take this a step farther. You could do like a -- force option here where it's not going to generate them for every one of your 2,000 old blog posts. You could just make sure, you could say something like new, or of course you can pass it a direct path, right? You could do something where if this argv contained a .emd extension, it only does that one blog post, right? It just knows that's a direct path and it doesn't run glob. So there's little ways you could tweak this to be smarter. Maybe after Laracon, I'll wrap this up as some kind of little tool that you can install via Composer. Who knows? Let me know. Let Simon know. That's the whole point of all this. This is a fun little hack thing for me and my project, but I think there's some pain out there around generating OG images. It's just either not something you're doing or you're taking some kind of ugly default. And I think there's an opportunity to probably customize those. So maybe you find this script useful. Like I said, I'll post a gist out there and share it via Twitter. I imagine that's where most of you are finding me. But if you see me at Laracon, if you know Simon, whatever, hit us up. Tell us your ideas. Maybe we can, again, he's going to be in there fixing some of these things we found that made the layout, gave the layout a little bit of friction. And I think he's going to be at Laracon too. So I'm going to ask him. I'm going to ask him some questions myself. So anyway, I hope you all enjoyed live. I will post this gist on GitHub shortly and share it on Twitter. So anyway, thanks everyone for joining live. See you.